take your bubble balancer from the one on the left to the one on the right. Lower friction, way more accurate. Real cheap and easy to do. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Jim, and this is Gunnar. And today we're going to be talking a bit about the old bubble balancer. Actually a fantastic little tool. I wouldn't use it on race car tires or anything like you're looking for really high precision on, but man, can they help you out in a jam, and they're certainly good bang for the buck. Concept of the balancer is real simple. There's a little bubble up top, which you can adjust, and then there's a little pivot point at the bottom of this guy that sits on a little pivot point right there. The problem is, not just in lining it up, getting it on there right. This is the problem. Watch. See how it just stopped? It only took about 5 seconds. The whole principle of this bubble balancer only works if there's really, really low friction at the pivot point here. And the problem is, even after 1 or 2 uses, both the pivot point itself and the pivot point that it's and the little resting point on here on the inside of the cup are both way too soft. The metals are way too soft for what they're intended to do. So if you have a big heavy tire like an F-150 and you drop it on there even once, it'll ruin the bubble balancer and it won't work anymore. Enter my solution. What is this, you may be asking yourself? Well, it's a random piece of steel that I had sitting around that I cut off and then made real smooth. Now, you don't need a whole big piece like this. You just have to have something small enough to get up under there and something hard enough that the new pivot is not going to dent it. So here's the next trick. In there, instead of that little guy that the little tiny pivot sits on, or rather in, and then ends up binding on because it's real soft, you can hop on Amazon and pick up one of these chromoly giant ball bearings. These are about 10 bucks. Now, you want to get it slightly smaller than the size of the cup, in this case 1.5 inches. And then I just wrap some masking tape around it to get it to sit in there real tight. And then on top of nice flat steel, it should be smooth enough that you can't catch anything with your fingernail, you don't feel it. And it's got to be steel or hardened steel. It can't be aluminum, it can't be brass or bronze. Now watch what happens.
Look at that, super low friction. That's what I'm talking about. It's more than 4 times as accurate as that pivot style one. It just goes. Man, it keeps going. All right, now let's give it a go. All right, so first thing is to zero out the bubble balancer, just like you would normally once it's on there. We'll go ahead and get the rim and tire on there. And this is the key. You want to put it on there really gently. Now, it won't matter as much as the original design. You can drop it a little harder. But it's best to go easy with all this stuff. You notice I got a piece of gravel in this tire. Don't do that, but in this case, it won't make a huge difference. But look at how low friction that is. It's still wobbling, still moving. There's the spot I picked out. It should be pretty obvious. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple weights on there. And I'll put the weights to balance it out on the front side. And I'm using the 2 same weights, and then we'll just mark right in between so we get right in the middle, right where the weights should go, axially out from the front. I'll mark that point. And then we can put them on. So then we'll take the wheel back off and then put the weights on, one on the front side of the rim, one on the back side of the rim, where that X is. Just checking to make sure it's lined up there. That's it. Front, back, done.
You can see when you end up using the ball and a flat piece of metal, and it actually doesn't have to be a big, complete solid rod like I have. It just has to be, it could be even a metal disc on a dowel, or you could even get rid of the little point on this guy and put a flat disc, you can glue it to it or whatever, it doesn't really matter. As long as You can get it on there and it won't fall off the edge. It's got to be nice and flat, and it's got to be smooth enough so that the ball that you're putting inside this guy can sit on it and allow it to wobble and spin to give you that like nice low friction surface. Got the links in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, you know all the regular steps. And Gunny, say bye. Speak.
Yeah, good boy.